to hidden gems. Each story shows what life can lend. Tune into 90.3, feel the vibe, get inspired too. What's up, Punta Cana, bringing dreams to you.
Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, the #1 English talk show in the area, with the best that the Dominican Republic and the rest of the world have to offer.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to What's Up Punta Cana. This is Christy Maggio, and I'm really excited for my guest tonight because it is somebody that I've just briefly conversated with, but he does such amazing things, and I can't wait to learn more about it. It is Gavin Keilly, and he is named the Gift Bag King, and he is the CEO of GBK Brand Bar. He started GBK in 2001 with his mission to create win-win partnerships between brands, celebrities, and charities. He's raised over $10 million for over 50 charities and countless media impressions for brands. And his vision of merging philanthropy and business is extremely inspiring. And so now he does his GBK brand bar during the Oscars, the Emmys, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shows, where brands are able to put their products in the hands of celebrities. And if they like them, a lot of times you get your picture taken with them. And so he is really groundbreaking in his collaborations, and he has proved that giving back and thriving in business can truly go hand in hand. So I would like you all to welcome Gavin Keilly, CEO of GBK Brand Bar. Welcome, Gavin. Hi, how are you? So excited to have you this evening.
Great to be here. I apologize in advance. We lost our power in our house, and I'm sure you guys may have heard about the LA fires, and the electric company is out trying to fix everything. So
how's it going? Is everybody?
I'm just in a park down the street from us, so it's great.
Good. I'm glad, and you know, I think about that. I think about people in LA all the time because it has been quite difficult and challenging, and it's a hard thing. So I'm praying for everybody, and I hope you and your family are well.
Yes, all my friends and family are definitely doing fine, at least health-wise.
Good.
But needless to say, I've lost many friends and family they lost their homes and all their, assets, and it's been very sad. It's been very sad. But we're doing what we can at our upcoming events to try to help those that lost things. So, I can tell you a little bit about that if you're interested.
I can't wait to talk about that. So let's go into that. We'll jump right in. So you started this back in 2001, and it ended up that you did an event, and one of the brands that you had was a watch that you had given to Ozzy Osbourne, and Ozzy Osbourne then took that watch and showed everybody, and that's when you had your epiphany of how, wait a minute, I can do good work because I've been studying you this week. So you could do good work, you could do philanthropic work that you really want to do, but also help brands bring these products to celebrities. That we know in this day and age that celebrity branding, ambassadors is everything. And so you found a way to bring these two worlds together. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, for example, the example you gave with Ozzy Osbourne, he actually literally put a watch in his mouth. And so we got that photo, and then we got it placed into Us Weekly, In Touch, People Magazine. And I realized that, brands could garner a lot of awareness, by giving celebrities their products. So we don't believe in just doing gift bags. From our perspective, we need to do a gift lounge surrounded around a major event, whether it be, as you alluded to earlier, the Grammys, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, whatever it might be. And we're going to be at Super Bowl coming up as well. And, and so the brands are actually there on site. They have their product, and then it's a quid pro quo. So meaning they're giving that product to the celebrity in exchange for a photo with them. And then the brands can use those photos in social media. They can use them on their website. They can submit them to press. And of course, it's huge, on Instagram now, so they can ask the celebrities to post as well. So, our average event generates about 500 million media impressions, if not more.
Wow, that's amazing. And some of these celebrities, depending on who they are and what the brand, or sometimes you have nonprofits there, we've talked about that they actually get on board with it. They're like, wow, this is a great nonprofit, or this is a great thing that you're doing, or this is a great product,
Yes. I mean, the celebrities, sometimes they'll be on their advisory board for one of the many nonprofits that we work with, or they'll become, a spokesperson for a particular brand. I've always had the belief that at the end of the day, you don't want to just reach out to a publicist or reach out to somebody to be your spokesperson unless you know that they actually like your product. So one way that you can find that out is by showing them the product at one of our events. And if they like it right then and there, you can ask them if they're interested. And you can pay them in a myriad of ways. It doesn't have to just be cash. It could also be a percentage of the company, or something like that.
Yes, and I think that that's important. And a lot of times people are like, yeah, you say that. But, let's give some examples. Like Jennifer Aniston, one of the people was Smart Water, right?
Exactly.
And,
exactly. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston was Smart Water. Genuine, he was at our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not Rock and Roll, it was the BET Awards. And there was a company called Adult Chocolate Milk. And he then actually made a song out of the Adult Chocolate Milk brand.
Yeah.
And didn't even ask him for anything about it.
So I think that's really important, because a lot of times people are like, yeah, but what do you really get out of it? What is it? And these are true tests, and these are only two, and these are true tests of what actually aligns with people and with these celebrities, because a lot of times they do want to give back, but they're looking for something genuine themselves, So
Yes.
I think that that's really important. So you have just had the Critics' Choice Awards. The Grammys are coming up, the Oscars, the Super Bowl. How do you do it?
We're always looking for great brands. We're looking for brands that we feel that would resonate with celebrities, and that they're going to like, as well as brands that we think that the press would enjoy writing about. So some are repeat brands. We have a brand called Mend, which is this high-end skincare that all the celebrities seem to really like, because it's not just skincare. It has healing elements to it as well. And we've had celebrities come back, from the Golden Globes and then the next event, whether it be the Oscars, and actually say to the brand, we really like this, and, how do we get more, or how do we get involved? So sometimes we'll let a brand come back, but more often than not, we like to have new brands at each one of our events.
Yeah, I think that's important. What do you look for in a brand? If somebody's coming to you for the first time, I'm sure that not everybody can come in. It has to have, you have to have a certain level of, you have to do your due diligence, because you're not going to bring in some random stuff and have somebody just come randomly to these events that aren't serious about their product. So what is it that you look for in brands, or even in nonprofits, or in whatever it is that people bring to your events?
I mean, really, obviously, you want it to be a reputable company, or a reputable organization. Especially with nonprofits, we really do our due diligence as far as what percentage they're giving back, and what their expenses are versus what they're using the money for. And then when it comes to a brand, frankly, what do I like? What would I use?
Right.
And And again, is it reputable? I will very often try the product first. I'll ask the brand to send me, a sample of it so I can see. Sometimes I'll just buy the product. And then if I like it, that's when I'll reach out to the brands. We also have, sales representatives that reach out to different brands too. But ultimately, it's our committee that decides whether or not that brand would be suitable for a particular event. Sometimes it might not be suitable for Oscars, but it might be suitable for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have a different clientele. What might be suitable for Oscars may not be suitable for the Super Bowl,
Right.
Who knows in that sense, depending on, and because you want the best for your clients. And I know you talk a lot about win-win, which in this day and age, a lot of times it's like, I win and I don't care what happens to you. So like, so I love that about what you stand for in that sense. But take me back a little bit in where did this all come from? Like, you have a philanthropic heart. I know that a lot of times, you weren't born saying, hey, I'm going to go and do this with brands. You discovered this ability to link two worlds together. But what was it prior to that you were doing that made you say, I need a change, or I really want to go in this route? How did the pre-road come to that main road?
So really, interestingly enough, I've always been into philanthropy. Even in college, I was philanthropy chair of my fraternity.
Wow.
And, I created a bowl-a-thon to raise money for the homeless. And, it wasn't a lot back then. I mean, I'm old. But, we raised, $15,000, but it was great, and we saw where the funds were going, and we saw how it really helped. And I think that was really, instrumental as far as my long-term goals in life, as far as me wanting to help individuals. That being said, when I graduated from college, I did not go into philanthropy right away because, as you might know, or as some of your listeners might know, it's not very profitable. And it's difficult to make money in the nonprofit sector. So my feeling was, okay, well, if I make money in other ways, then I can give back in my own way afterwards. So initially I was in telecommunication sales. I did very well in that arena. I ended up being, director of sales for the whole West Coast, got 9 promotions over 5 years. Then I had a couple internet companies of my own, one very successful, one failure. Then I was a financial advisor, and I really wanted to help individuals, with their finances and retirement. And I think that was almost the start in some respect with helping people. Although that being said, and this is the first time that I thought about that, but even in telecommunications, I was helping people because I was switching people from AT&T to our network, or MCI to our network, and they were paying 35, 40 cents a minute, and we were only charging 10 cents a minute. So I was helping people save 70, 80% on their telephone bill. Yeah. And I know that sounds minor, but with businesses that were spending $10,000 a month, that's a $7,000 savings or $100,000 savings a year. So even back then, I think I was trying to feel good about what I was doing, even when it was sales. So then when I was in finance, basically the market was going down. It was around 2000, and there was a big downturn in the markets. And from my perspective, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror when I was asking people for their funds and trying to put them in mutual funds or whatever it might be. And it was going down 20, 30%, and that was a retirement. So I stopped doing that, and I said, what do I want to do with my life? And still figuring that out. But really, it was, I wanted to make a difference in the world, help others, and not be a martyr in the process. So basically, I went to go work for City of Hope initially. and I was their director of development there. And we started producing events. And then from there, Sharon Osbourne had attended one of my events, and Sharon asked me to help her with her colon cancer foundation and start that foundation. So I ended up leaving City of Hope, starting that, and the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And I think that when you look at all of those things that led you to there, it was probably pretty divinely led. But where did this heart come from? What was it? Let's go back to your childhood a little bit. I'm going to go a little deep here on you.
Uh-oh.
As to, a lot of times, and I'm in education, so I see young people and I see, how I am, and I always want to help and I always want to serve. I see how you are, and you have that same type of heart. Were you raised that way?
I think that part of it has to do with the fact that I was dyslexic.
Okay.
And I wasn't diagnosed as being dyslexic till my junior year of high school.
Wow.
And prior to that, I was not doing well in school at all. Teachers thought either I was dumb or I wasn't trying. And neither one was a fact. But I truly thought I was dumb, or that had to be the case because I was trying. So I think that maybe the way that I was treated maybe had some type of shift in regards to me wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt and help them. I don't really know for sure, but that's certainly a possibility.
What was that like? Like, as an educator, what as a person who has dyslexia, like, a lot of times people say, oh, they read words backwards and stuff like that. But what did that look like to you?
For me, it was more about reading comprehension and how I understood things. And once I was diagnosed, I learned how to learn, meaning I had to read out loud in order to understand things. Anything that's complicated, of course. I was always very good at math, but some of my teachers wanted me to show my work, and I couldn't even show my work. I could get the answer, but I couldn't tell them how I got there. So it was very frustrating at times.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Because, if you get the answer, if we all get the same destination, what does it matter how you got there, right?
Right.
And I think that that's important. So I find that very interesting because sometimes I look at it and not knowing or not having that experience with dyslexia, it's like it's not just about a bunch of words being jumbled up in front of you. It's that it's a comprehension part of it too. And so I find that interesting. So let's say you graduated from high school. You ended up going to college.
Yeah, so I was very fortunate because once I was diagnosed, I went to a school specific. My parents were fortunate enough to have the ability to send me to a school specifically designed for dyslexia. So I went to a school called Landmark West my senior year, and I got all A's and a B.
Nice.
So I believe that the colleges, even though I got terrible grades, probably never better than a B if I was lucky, mostly C's and D's prior to that. I believe the college said, okay, we see this person has potential because once I learned how to learn, I had that ability. And then I went to college and I got a 3.6 grade point average in college and studied business. I went to Sonoma State and took a few classes at UC Berkeley. And, and then I, graduated from there and went on to other things.
So what was it in that process of learning how to learn that you did that changed things for you?
My life did a 180. I used to say my life did a 360, which wouldn't be very good.
I know.
Back where I started.
I do that all the time.
But my life did a 180, literally. I gained the confidence in myself. And By the way, I was actually accepted to go to UC Berkeley initially, but I didn't have the confidence yet to go to a bigger school. And I'm very glad that I chose Sonoma State because it was a small school. I had the opportunities. So, as I alluded to, I was philanthropy chair of my fraternity, SAE. I was also chairman of the board of the student union. So I had these leadership roles that helped me, really develop myself as a whole and gain the confidence that I needed in order to achieve where I am today.
Do you feel that? Do you have children?
I do. I have
Okay.
a 14-year-old beautiful little girl.
So do you feel that? What do you feel are the main challenges that she faces with school today? Do you feel that she has the? I mean, I'm sure she's not dyslexic, but does she have? I know in growing up, some things are extremely difficult. One of the things that you said was confidence. How do you find that do you instill in her the same philanthropic heart that you have and embrace that so that she becomes a part of what you do as well?
I definitely try to. It's kids these days, they have a lot of distractions, shall we say. I mean, my daughter is, very kind and very, very sweet. And, we'll go to an organization called Food on Foot, where we help the homeless there.
Nice.
And she's joined certain clubs, at school as well, which is philanthropic, which is great. But at the end of the day, some kids, as kids can be mean.
Yep.
So Morgan is not dyslexic, but she has her other challenges, with friends and with kids at school, and I think all kids do.
Yeah.
I think that unfortunately, kids can be mean.
Yes.
But
And is that trying to fit in? I think it's trying to find that place. We all are trying to fit in or trying to portray something that, and we're not quite sure where it is. So even if we as adults are, you're like, well, I'm trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Sometimes for kids, it's got to be just as. It's much more difficult because they are very much influenced by those around them, and a lot of times it is one of those things that we as adults have to understand and remember when we were growing up how difficult it was and the challenges that they faced and the pressure of it, and now it's a whole other world. So I think that's really important, and it's very interesting, the entire that concept of what young people do and how they internalize a lot of things. But yes, you are right that a lot of kids are just mean, and you try and sway them in the right way, and then you try and give your daughter, I'm sure, and other kids, that confidence, that backbone to understand that, hey, it's only temporary. But
yes.
what do you think is where you got? All right, you were in telecommunications. You then went to different company, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but then you went to the philanthropy side. And I think that's really important that you did, and you made your money so that this way you can then do what you wanted to do. What do you think prepared you most, and what do you think those skills are that people need when they're getting out of high school or college in order to really and truly succeed in whatever job they're in?
I mean, I think the number one thing is listening, having the ability to listen, whether it's directions that you're being given by somebody, or, when you're in sales, listening to what their needs and wants are. But really, listening is probably the one key that I would say that people don't do enough. They talk over people, and they and they want to get their point across so badly that they don't listen enough.
I agree with that, because they're thinking about what they're going to say as opposed to then saying, hearing what you have to say and responding rightfully to that one, to what you're actually saying. And sometimes people don't want a response. They just want someone to hear them as well. So I think that is really important. And so as we look forward and we look at all of these, what you have created as a company, right? We know that it's countless hours and it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of relationship building. I don't want to say networking because but networking is very transactional, but relationship building is really important. How do you feel that you did that so that you can create what you have today? Because it's hard work to build those relationships, keep those relationships, and continue on with them so that you could get to the important work that you do today.
I think being true to your word is probably, the number one thing. Being true to your word and always doing, what you say you're going to do. But also, at least for our business, always having high quality. So whether it be our gift lounges or producing an event, we always want to make sure that, it's the best quality. It's a fun event and people enjoy themselves. And, so there's other companies out there that try to do what we do, at least in the gifting arena, and they'll let anyone in. They'll let a company that's just giving away paper clips. But at the end of the day, the celebrity, you have to acknowledge the fact that, you are asking them to take a photo with this product, so you need to give them something of value.
Right. Yes. And that is probably one of the key things, because it's not just that you're going to go in and just have anybody there to do whatever they want. I mean, you have to realize too that for them, they put in their time and effort. If they're at the Super Bowl, or if they're winning a Grammy, or if they're nominated for an Oscar, or whatever it is that they're there, like that's hard work. That's, so making sure that they're rewarded with something. But what I do like that you said is because growing up, I always knew of the gift bag. They get the swag bag in the back and behind, backstage, for taking part or being there, or whatever it was. Where did the idea of a lounge come from? And because like you said, they say you're the gift bag king. But I think it's way, way more than a gift bag.
Well, gift bag king only came across because my initials are GBK. So
I get it.
Gavin, Blake, Keilly. So
yes.
Gift bag king came from because my company is GBK. So gift bag king, giving back kindly is another thing. Now people are calling me the godfather of gifting.
Nice.
But that's not GBK anymore. Really it just came about, at that Osborne event where I realized that the photo is the most powerful thing. And just putting your brand into a bag and not even knowing if the celebrity's ever going to get it or who's going to get it is not a value to a brand.
Absolutely. What did you have to do in the beginning? What was it because obviously right now you're talking about years later and many of these events later to get the trust and the celebrities to want to come to your events?
I think I was fortunate in a way. I mean, because my first event that I did at the Osbournes' home, we had Justin Timberlake there. We had Elizabeth Taylor. We had Tony Bennett. So we had a lot of big celebrities there. So, and I had the photos where we gave those watches to those big celebrities. So I was able to use those as a selling tool for my next event. And then in my first event, we probably only had 10 brands. And now we're up to, now we're turning away brands.
Right.
So now we have 25, 30 brands. We don't really like to have more than 30 at any one particular event. Because again, we're asking the celebrity to go to vendor to vendor to vendor to vendor and take a photo with each one. So the average celebrity is there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's basically 2 or 3 minutes with each brand. But don't get me wrong, they're having fun.
Yes.
They're having fun not only because they're getting great products, but also because there's a DJ there, there's food there, there's great alcohol. We always have amazing wine. And they're running into their friends. They're running into other celebrities that have been nominated or people they haven't seen in a few years. So it's a good time had by all.
Yeah. It's a social engagement. It's like you said, it's not just them going and getting something like, I know your Oscar one is 2 days, it's
Yes.
not just,
Yeah.
and so it's really, it's an event. It's a party. Yeah. It's a, hey, congratulations. But also, I can't say enough how much it is a win-win for both people, for everybody involved.
Yeah, we actually call it a win, 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 because the celebrity wins because they get great gifts. The brands win because they get amazing photos and press. The nonprofits win because they have the opportunity to educate the celebrities and the press about the work that they're doing, and I'm able to make a living doing it.
Exactly. That is true. It's 4 wins. 4 wins right there. What, when you, now I want to go over to, because you also talked about, okay, so you have the lounge, but then you say you help people put on other events.
Yes. So we produce charity events as well.
Okay.
So basically, if a nonprofit's producing a gala, we will help them produce it from A to Z. And what that means is, you've obviously gone to a fundraising event where there's, sit down table and performers and honorees and presenters. Well, we will help them not only get the presenters, but educate them as far as who they should honor, because very often people honor the wrong individual, or I won't say it's never wrong. I think that's the wrong word to say. They don't honor a person that might help the cause even more.
Right. They don't want to honor somebody that, like, it could be a good person, but it doesn't necessarily align with their mission and their vision.
Exactly. But so what we do is, we figure out a way that, frankly, they're not even paying us anything in some respect. Because what we'll do is we'll give them a free space at one of our events. So they have the ability to ask various different celebrities if they'll join their honorary board, to ask a celebrity if they do align with their mission to maybe be honored, ask a celebrity to maybe present an award if they align with the mission. And also at the event, we'll auction off the ability for one of their donors to come to one of my future events and be a celebrity for the day. So typically that'll go for $15,000 or $20,000, which is basically our fee to produce the event.
Wow. That's great. That's incredible. We need to talk. But either way, like, I think that is important. Like, you do that philanthropically. Do you do it for also other events too? Like people who are doing parties or galas that maybe may not be for nonprofit, but.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly have done a myriad of launch parties, or a party at a trade show or something like that if they want to produce. And even then, we'll try to get a celebrity element into it, invite people that we might know, because people like celebrities.
Yes.
And it enhances an event. It does.
And I think that not only that, but what a celebrity does, that if they align properly with whatever the brand is or whatever the product is or whatever the mission is, we know that, I know anyways, how long it takes to go organic, to go solo. It's solo, so slow, right? So if you really have that mission of it and you want to put it out there and you have the means to do it, then I mean, and they align with you, I think really it's a no-brainer because it's influencer marketing, you know, it's celebrity branding. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not important. How important do you feel celebrity branding is to make something go faster?
I'm biased, of course.
Of course, but you're also honest.
But I truly do think it's important. I mean, I truly do believe that at the end of the day, you know, at least for what we do, you know, a picture speaks 1,000 words. You know, and you see these photos that get placed in People Magazine and Us Weekly and In Touch, and how do you think they get there? They get there by, frankly, participating in one of our events and getting these photos, you know, with these celebrities. Because otherwise, you couldn't get one celebrity. Maybe you can get a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right.
But you couldn't get 40 or 50 celebrities. And I always tell my brands that if you get 50 photos, to use those over the course of 6 months. So now you have, you know, one photo a week or 2 photos a week of different celebrities with your brand. So now it's, oh, wow, they have your brand? Oh, wow, they have your brand? Oh, my goodness. And you just keep pushing it out there.
Exactly.
People are impressed.
Yes. And that just, like you said, it goes a lot faster. And
but not to interrupt, but also it's if the celebrity likes it and then they post, now you're really talking. I mean, some of these celebrities have 5 million, 10 million, 20 million followers, and now you're getting your product out there organically.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, and one of my mentors said to me, you know, because a lot of times people say, I can't afford it. And he always would say back, can you not afford it or can you afford not to? You know?
Correct.
Because a lot of time we think of the financial investment, which obviously there has to be a financial investment, but what comes back is much greater than that financial investment that you put in there, because you are, for you as a single person to hold that kind of event, to be in front of those celebrities, to then get all of that press and everything that goes along with it, that you're talking a whole lot of money. So by them, you know, partnering with you, doing this and aligning with you and what you're doing, they get all of that without the heavy price tag. Really. Oh, so we kind of we lost for a second. We'll be right back. And so, but I mean, I think that this is something for all of us, my audience, whoever's listening right now, and we do the replay, like, this is really important. If you have a brand out there, if you have a product you want to market, you want to get in front, like, this is the real deal. You know, a lot of people, you see fake news, fake promises on social media. You see all of these things happening out there. I can do this. I can do this. I can market this for you. And you end up spending thousands of dollars and you get nothing. It's happened to me more times than I like to. It happened to Franklin here at Punta Cana Hits. Like, and here, when you look at, if you go to gbkbrandbar.com, their website, and you see what you get, like, you can't compare that to any marketing that you pay for, to anything. Like, it's truly and honestly the real deal. So I highly recommend that if you're trying to get something in front of the right people and you don't have $200,000, $250,000 or whatever it is to hire a celebrity to come to your event or come to your gala or whatever it is that you want them to attend, this is a great way to start. When you're on a budget, it is a great way for you to be able to go and say, hey, I'm going to get all of these pictures with all these celebrities holding my product in their hand. And then ultimately, at the end, you come back with all of these photos and video, and you're able to then have post after post after post after post on social media. And I'll tell you, I did my due diligence, and Gavin is truly the real deal. When I'm not talking about these events being at, some small little place. Like, you're talking Beverly Hills and the Beverly Wilshire. And how often would you be able to get your product at an event like that in front of people without a huge chunk of change? So I know we lost you for a second. So I was just kind of saying how amazing it is what you do, and how people out there that are listening right now, they have a product, a service, something that they're looking to get out there, but their budget doesn't allow them to have a big gala or hire a celebrity or, whatever it might be, that this is a fantastic alternative.
Can I add one more thing too?
Sure.
Just because we have the Grammys coming up, and it's too late to get involved in that event, but we're going to be creating 1,500 gift bags for the fire victims.
Wonderful.
And we're also creating 400 bags for teenagers.
Nice.
And we're going to be doing the 400 bags for the teenagers at the Oscars as well. And so we are looking for anyone that wants to give any type of gift cards. If you have a corporation, you can do American Express gift cards and put your name on there and give them to these teenagers that have lost everything. Or if you have a product or a service that might make sense for a teenager that lost everything, we would love to potentially include that in the bags too. And we'll be putting your logo in the background. We're going to have celebrities stuffing these bags. And so you would get photos that way too. Excellent.
That's amazing. So, all right, since we're coming towards the end, there's one more question I want, and then we're going to, then I want to get you to give all of your information, so people who want to donate, who want to help, who want to send you, how to reach out to you to do that. But my last question is, you've come this far, and we know that in our business and things that we do, we always are striving for that next thing, that next vision. What do you see? What is your vision for the future?
You didn't tell me you're going to ask me that question. No, you didn't tell me any of the questions. But my vision for the future is really just to keep going strong, keep helping others, keep producing these events that make people happy. I really don't see an end in sight because, we'll continue to do these lounges and we'll continue to help those in need.
I think that, one of the things I always say is that, a lot of people are like, why you work so hard? And it's like, I don't work hard. When you love what you do, it's not work. It's hard work, not hard work.
I love that. Yeah.
So, so yes, I truly believe that. But also sometimes then eventually comes that little flicker in your mind of that, ooh, how I can amplify and make it, sometimes you're like, this is great. And then you're like, oh, but this can be even greater. So I guarantee something's going to come and that's going to continue to make your, what you do even better and reach even more people, because I think you bless so many people. So I think it's wonderful. So how can people contact you, find out more about advertising their products with you, but also help you with the donations and the gifts, gift bags that you're doing for the fire victims and the teenagers who also have lost everything in these California fires?
So my Instagram is G as in Gavin, B as in Bravo, K as in King, brand, BRAND, bar, BAR. That's our Instagram. And then you can also reach me directly at Gavin, Gavin, at gbkbrandbar.com.
Okay. Gavin.
And that's our website too.
Yep. Gavan at gbkbrandbar.com. And again, if you forget that, just gbk on Instagram, social media, and you come right up with GBK. So, so yes, GBK Brand Bar. This has been a great pleasure, and I look forward to continuing talking to you, continuing the relationship, and just following and learning more, and in the future being a part of your events as well. I'm really looking forward to that.
Great. Look forward to having you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gavin, for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great weekend.
My pleasure. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, the #1 English talk show in the area, with the best that the Dominican Republic and the rest of the world have to offer.
Are you ready to dream, to reach for more? With stories that open every door. What's up? Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, right here for you. Where passion meets success, inspiring dreams come true. From entrepreneurs to hidden gems, each story shows what life can lend. Tune into 90.3, feel the vibe, get inspired too. What's up, Punta Cana, bringing dreams to you. Are you ready to dream, to reach for more? With stories that open every door. What's up, Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, right here for you. What passion meets success, inspiring dreams come true. From entrepreneurs to hidden gems, each story shows what life can lend.